Hi, I'm Jay Rains, and I'm a results leader.
You're listening to ResultsLeader.fm. Being a thought leader is easy. Getting results is hard. This show is for the results leader who lives and dies by their results. Here is your host and Chief Results Leader, Jonathan Rivera.
Welcome back, boys and girls, to another edition of ResultsLeader.fm. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Stoked that you're here. And as always, this is going to be an enriching time together. Today, Dr. Jay Rains joins me. He talks about creating your own culture brand. And the best part is, he talks about results not being the only thing that matters. What? That's right. Results aren't the only thing that matters. Find out why in today's interview. Let's jump in. Jay, welcome to the show. Good to have you here. Are you ready to deliver the first win for our listeners?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show, JR.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been a long time in the making. So let's jump in. What book have you given most as a gift?
Over the last few years, the book Multipliers by Liz Wiseman has been so helpful for me that it's just a book I want to give away. I've just noticed that it changed my thinking about how to invest in other people and even just how to be present around others in a room. Multipliers.
Multipliers. All right. That's a new one. Adding that to my reading list. Thank you. And now it is story time.
All right.
So I want you to think back and tell us a story of how what seemed to be a failure turned into a later success for you.
When you're in the middle of those failures, it's really powerful, isn't it? It's really challenging. I was thinking back as you asked that question, the one that comes to mind was just a few years ago, actually. We'd been living overseas. We'd started a company in South Asia. We were doing leadership development there and had been there several years and had a growing team. Business was going well, but because of a life circumstance, a family circumstance, we needed to come back to America rather abruptly. And it just really, there was about 9 months in there. It was just a hard time because there's been so much investment in thinking and planning around what we were doing. And now all of a sudden we're just geographically, things had changed. But it really gave me a time to evaluate what did I want to take out of that and put into what's next. And so it set me up for thinking in a very different way. Was the impetus of the company I'm running now. And I would say that ended up being a success for us.
How was your thinking different?
I think coming out of that experience, I wanted to filter out what I wanted to keep. And so one of the things that really changed was I thought I was going to kind of do the same thing that I've been doing there, but I realized that we'd been doing leadership training, more like a seminar workshop type approach. And I think the thing that really changed was to realize that coaching was much more impactful. It still got me close to clients and I was able to help them. Really changed my skill set because I saw a gap. So I guess the thinking changed because I realized I didn't have to be the one who was giving the answers. I could be the one asking questions.
Okay, because that was my follow-up there. How is coaching more impactful? And I think that you just kind of touched on it, but can you talk about that just a little bit more?
I think sometimes, especially as you're growing up as a leader, leading others, leading teams, there's this sense of, I'm a leader. I'm supposed to have the answers. As a coach, we're really stepping into, every time I get on a call or step into a room, I'm moving into unfamiliar territory, and that's by design on purpose. And so I go in there and my objective is to be curious and to ask questions that maybe they haven't asked yet. Just that shift of not having to be the expert on this topic, but more having to help. My role is to help them think from a different perspective or bring in new ideas or explore things we haven't tried before. So just stepping away from having to have all the answers and moving more to, what would be the question that we need to really ask at this moment?
I feel like I want to go further here, so I'm going to continue down this path.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you know the right questions to ask?
There is a process. First of all, coaching is one of those things where you have to start with trust. I mean, in fact, it takes a little while as a coach and a coachee, someone who I'm coaching. There's a relationship that has to be built and that's where, after that happens, that's where things really go deep and really impact begins to happen even faster. I mean, there's some things that can happen on the first call, but I've noticed that as trust increased. So one, building that relationship and using questions to build a relationship and sharing that together. But then early in a coaching conversation, one of the things that has to happen is you really have to agree on a desired outcome. What are we trying to accomplish today in the next 30 minutes? What would be success? And so once we establish that target and it's attainable, it seems attainable within that time frame, then we can really start talking more about the topic. And I like to think of coaching as like there's a table in the middle of the room and I'm with that person and let's say we put a flower on that table, right? And so what I'm doing as a coach is I'm walking that person around the table saying, okay, what are you seeing from this perspective? And hey, let's move over here. And now if we look at it from this angle, what are you seeing differently? And so helping them look at the situation, whatever it is, from multiple angles, because ultimately, remember, I'm not the expert. They're the expert. What we want to do is get their expert thinking activated at its highest potential.
All right, back on script now.
All right. No, that's good. Very cool. We're good.
What would you say is the most worthwhile investment you've ever made?
I mean, other than I'm a person of faith, having a Bible has been a tremendous thing. But I say beyond that and thinking about just my own thinking about myself and about life, I remember it was probably under $20, right? It was a small investment, but somewhere along the way, I got a DISC profile. And DISC is one, there's many different kinds of personality profiles, but DISC is one of them. And it's one that really stuck with me because it made sense. And so that DISC profile showed me my natural tendencies of how I respond in under conflict, under stress, or even what I care. Like I said, we're looking at different perspectives, like my perspective of how I see things. That DISC profile helped see how I tick and how I think. That really helped me personally. And then I began to realize, oh, wow, this is different for other people. And I need to understand how they react. And let's figure out how we can work together. So I always think that would be one of the biggest personal investments.
Never had anybody talk about the DISC. And I love all those DISC, Colby, Strengths Finder. We do them all over here. So I'm with you on that. In the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
One of the things and this just kind of happened because I'm a coach, and the coach mentor that I had shown me how she uses a journal, and she'll take out that page, and she had just a way to take notes and also to prepare for the call. And so I began to adopt that method, which was really helpful. But one thing that kind of accidentally happened along the way, and I have a stack of these journals just from coaching people and talking to them. In these meetings, there would be some new idea, some new realization for me or for them. And if it kind of rang that bell, if it was just something that was like, wow, that's a new, interesting thought, I would actually write that on the left side of the page, because I was writing on the back side of the previous page, right? Here I am taking notes, we're talking, and it's just been really helpful to be able to look back and see what were those aha moments, what were those amazing ideas that emerged, because here we are, we're dealing with real life stuff. We're trying to figure out and solve problems. And then some meta idea pops up that's like, wow, that's so helpful for like everybody. So I write it down. And those have become some of the most impactful. They've become tools, really. They've kind of synthesized into some things that we want to make sure we deliver to all of our clients. So I would say that would be a habit that ended up being tremendous benefit to my clients, but also myself.
Can you share one of those insights off the top of your head?
We were talking about, absolutely. We're trying to, one of the things we like to do is help teams develop their own what we call a culture brand. We go in and we try to help them figure out their culture so simply that they could put it on a napkin. So we're really trying to simplify that. And we were working through that one day, and part of it is about getting results, and part of it is about the teaming relationship part. This client was talking about how he was talking to someone, and they were amazing at results, but because they were amazing at results, they forgot to really maintain the relationship side. And they were actually running over some people. And one of the things that he said was, he told this person, hey, we're not asking you to dial down in results. We're asking you to dial up in this other area of being a team player. And that just really hit me hard. Because I think in the world, what we're always trying to do is kind of all meet in the middle, where it almost seems like we're trying to compromise what we're good at so that we're all kind of adjusting and being that all person, right?
I said no person if you do that too much.
Yeah, right. You're really compromising down to just blah, right? And just neutral. For him to say, I wanted her to dial up, I realized, wow, so that's really what we're asking. We're asking you to really stay the person you are, but don't miss this opportunity to notice that, okay, you have a natural tendency to miss something over here. So put something in your life that helps you dial up there. You'll have to work harder at it, but you've got to dial up.
Yeah, we went from either or thinking to and. Yes, we like that. And we need to add this. So let's get on
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
All right. What are some bad recommendations you hear in your area of expertise?
And that also, I guess that also relates to the answer I just gave, that in the industry that I'm in, a lot of times they're hiring a coach because they want to get results. So I come into the relationship sometimes with someone who has this very strong thinking about results. And I'm not necessarily sure it's that they're getting bad advice, but I feel like I'm having to undo bad thinking or maybe help them see some gaps in their thinking. We're trying to hit a result or whatever, and they've run past that relational thing. That would be a big one. Hang on, I'm going to go off script here for a second. I was already prepared to do that results relationship answer for this question. So let me think. So I feel like I'm repeating myself here.
Are you enjoying the interview? Yeah, I had to jump in here for a second and ask you, if you've been listening for a while and you haven't subscribed to this show, why not? Go to wherever you listen to podcasts, type in Results Leader FM, and hit the subscribe button. That way you never miss another episode. Now that we got that out of the way, let's jump back into the interview. Why do results matter?
Well, I mean, we're in business, right? Most of my clients, I do work with some nonprofits, and those results matter too. I guess if you think about just in the business perspective, results matter because we need to stay in business. So we really have to hit the targets, or at least we have to strive to hit the targets. Some people think that pursuing profit, for example, that just sounds like some kind of evil design, right? We're really glad when the owner or the leaders pursue profit, because when they have profit, the team gets paid. So results matter. But I think sometimes we have to back up and think, okay, but what are the meta results? What are the results beyond the monthly P&L? As a coach, I'm trying to help especially owners, and then say people who are supporting those business owners, think, what does the result of my life want to look like? At the end of my life, what's really going to matter? And then work our way back from that and think, okay, then what am I doing today that gets me closer to that result? If we do that, and we do that in a way that's on mission together, we figure out the mission, we figure out the target we're trying to aim for as a team, then whoever's buying is going to like what we're offering, because we're doing it with such meaning and purpose. And it's beyond just that dollar result. They can tell by our heart, they can tell by our face, by our attitude about what we're offering, service or product, that it matters so much more than just a transactional situation.
I want to dive deeper, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hold back. Well, no, I can't. I have to do this. I have to go to this spot.
All right,
because
JR,
one of the things is when we're doing pre-interviews, one of the questions I ask is like, how do you practice personal development, and what are your values? And a lot of people come to me with this answer, and I want to get your take on this because you just talked about life purpose. Are you talking about me personally or my business? And in my mind, I think they're the same thing. Like one works together with the other for the whole person. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a really great question, because if those aren't I would say alignment is probably the key there. If those aren't at least in alignment, then you're having to live two lives. I like to think of it as an arrow. I draw an arrow on a page, kind of want just this big block arrow. And at the end of the arrow, after the point of the arrow, I put vision. Okay. So that vision could be what you want your life to be. And vision is one of those things where it has many different horizons, even today's vision. But so I try to get them to think as far out in the future, even personally as they can, about that vision. And then the arrow itself is kind of guided on one side. You think about driving down the road, there's ditches on the sides of the road. And so on one side, one ditch is purpose. And that purpose, if you fall out of it, if you go beyond your purpose, you're off the road, you're in the ditch. And on the other side of that is values. And if I violate and I go beyond my values, then I'm off my mission as well. And so purpose and values are the kind of the fence row or the bar ditch on the side of the road. And so then in the middle, the road itself is my mission. So what am I doing today to get me to that vision? So, but the question you asked is it different? Like, is my life purpose and my job purpose, are those different? And I really think they need to be aligned. I would say your personal one should be the biggest arrow. And then your business or your work or your role should be a kind of a smaller arrow, maybe a temporary, we'll say, arrow inside of that. But are they pointed in the same direction? Maybe I'll use a different example. Let's say we're rowing a boat. You and I and maybe some others were rowing a boat. We're a team, we're rowing a boat. If one person decides to row in a little bit different direction, then we're all fighting against that one person. So we need team alignment. But here in this case, I need personal alignment, that if I'm moving, I'm working on my role at my work, I want to know that that's also helping me get to where I want to be at the end of my life or in the next 10 years with my family. So alignment would be the key there.
What area of your business would you like better results?
Our business is, we're working with several different companies around the country. What I've come to realize is I need to get them talking together because they're all right now a bit siloed. We're working with this business separately from that business. And I'm starting to realize I think this is an area of opportunity for us and could give us something better and give our clients something better, is if we could get them talking. We're looking at ways, maybe it's an online platform or some kind of webinars or something, but getting them together to think about and learn from each other, because they're all such amazing leaders in their own right. I think that would accelerate and just exponentially accelerate their growth and our growth.
I think I hear Jay's got a mastermind coming up soon.
There you go. Yeah,
I know
or something even better. I mean, those are great. So we're toying with some of those ideas.
What results are you most proud of?
I really think it's people. It's just not, and that seems a bit intangible as well. I think about the teams. I could name 3 teams in my life that I feel like I've built and been able to invest in. And then I see what they're doing now, right? I have the team that I have now, and I have a couple of other teams in the past. And just the joy of working with them at those moments and that high performance, amazing thing that happened was just fun. But also to see that they've taken that experience and they've gone to do greater things. And so I'd say just investing in each other, growing together, and then everyone's able to take that investment and move it forward.
Any parting thoughts you want to share with the results leaders who are listening to us right now?
Don't run after results and run over relationships. I think we're back to that right? It's results, relationships. Sometimes we, out of fear or out of pursuit or out of just drive, we can kind of tend to run past people. But at the end of the day, it's really people that matter the most, that we treasure, and those relationships that we have, and then seeing them grow and develop and hit targets and get results is so exciting.
Excellent. I know our listeners are going to want more from you. Where can they get it?
Yeah, our website is leadersq.com. From there, you can find my LinkedIn profile. I'm there a lot. You can direct message me there pretty easily. And Instagram, all that's from there. But I would say start leadersq.com. My phone number's there. It comes actually right to my cell phone, and I'll pick up if I can immediately. So just give us a call or reach out.
We will share links in the show notes. We've been speaking to Mr. Jay Raines. Thank you so much for hanging with us today. And thank you, results leaders, for tuning in. Another show is in the can. That is a wrap for another edition of resultsleader.fm. If you are out there getting results for your clients and you want to be featured on the show, go to resultsleader.fm now and apply to be on the show. And if you love what you're hearing, share the show, give us a rating and review, do anything to help us get the message out there. Thought leadership is easy, but results leadership is hard. We'll catch you on the next one.
This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.